Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So just bear with me one sec. There we go. Welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about Lionsgate, the Lionsgate shadow period. So most people, I don't think, talk about this, and it's really quite interesting because we're in it right now. And you know, words, definitions, boxes, they don't really help a massive amount, but they do help us focus just for the moment. So we are going to be talking about the Lionsgate shadow, which we are in right now, through to the end of Lionsgate. Some people say that's at different points in time. I'm going to be looking at the next week and a bit, until around the 18th or so, because the 18th will bring a lot of wonderful cosmic energy. Hello, beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at all these gorgeous souls joining. I love you both so much, both of you that are here right now. So we had all the energy building up, right? Building up until the Lionsgate, right? We had the 8-8, which was 2 days ago, right? And that was, you know, it was a build-up, it was a build-up, it was a build-up. I've got my Lionsgate hair going on. I think I wear this top every time, you know, every time I go live. I'm going to have to get a different wardrobe. But we had all this build-up, right? And then we get the energy hangover, right, of receiving all these light codes. And the sun was fantastic. The sun was shooting solar flares out at us, right, because all the light from Sirius, from the great central sun, from one of our really important suns that are supporting us, was beaming this light into our sun. And our sun nourishes us on Earth. Our sun reflects off the moon and nourishes our emotions. It nourishes the Earth and everything that we are, right? So all this energy was coming in. Everything completely coincided as it would do, as it should do. And then we have the shadow of Lionsgate, because now we've hit the pinnacle. And now, yeah, someone beautifully said, Mia beautifully said, energy feels heavy right now. Yes, absolutely. Before I continue, actually, my guides are just reminding me to say, I have 4 appointments left for next week, live one-to-ones. If you are called to working with me in a live face-to-face appointment, rather than a recorded one or a distance one, I have Saturday the 20th, 3 appointments that day, and I have lunchtime English time on Thursday the 18th. So if it calls to you, check the links in my bio. After the end of next week, I do not have any live appointments for a good 2 months. Okay, so if it calls to you, book it now. But yeah, let's get back into this. The light goes hangover. Absolutely. What a great way of phrasing it. So what's really interesting is that, you know, one of the things that I notice amongst the majority of people that I work with, and just amongst everyone that I see commenting or writing anything anywhere, is that when we're having these ascension symptoms, as people call them, that is essentially, there is the speed of the energy and the purity of the energy coming in isn't fully being grounded at this point. So we're having to shift and change what we're doing to ground it, right? That's when we're not doing that, when they're not in alignment, that's when we get the ascension symptoms, right? Like the nausea or the headaches and things like that. And some even call it a hangover, right? And when there is this massive amount of energy coming in, which Lionsgate does bring, you know, most people are going to feel that regardless as to how much you're embodying your talk, right? How much you're walking your talk. Some of the things that I do see and hear, though, is too much mind, right? Too much mind and not enough embodying. When light codes come in, we see all these people kind of analysing it and noticing it and spotting the patterns and, oh, I see this and I feel this, and putting a story to it. We keep skipping the embodiment part. And this is just a little tidbit that came through today in a session, in a guidance session. This is just a little tidbit that will help everyone right now. If you're feeling any physical sensation, right, that's just your body saying, whoa, we're receiving a lot of light. It's releasing the old. But if you want to have a more graceful continuation of energy being received, we need to be embodying our talk a lot more, because there's too much talk and not enough doing a lot of the time. And that's not a insult or anything like that. That's just how we are currently in the collective. There's a lot of talk, right? But the talk feeds the ego, because it feeds the stories. We want to be embodying, and what embodying means is feeling fully present within ourselves, allowing ourselves to feel whatever the sensation is without numbing it, ignoring it, distracting ourselves from it, or talking over it, That's super important. So we just wanted to share that just first because it's come up a lot and it was actually articulated today in a session. We have so much support from the star beings, from the dragons, from all the realms of light. However you interpret them and receive them, I interpret them and receive them as elemental beings and star beings and fae beings and angelic beings, and channel them through. And even when I was at Stonehenge the other day, I saw the biggest black dragon there, and I remember sharing that with you all, and it was the most powerful thing. And that black dragon has been with me along with a couple of other angelic beings that I've seen in my day-to-day, literally getting my attention very vividly to remind me to actually embody and ground within myself, right? Because we're all human and we all have this program that goes up to the mind first, right? So we all need that reminder to ground, to embody, to walk on the earth and ground our energy, because we are electrical conduits. So when we receive light codes, that's electricity. It's like lightning. It's like we're being struck by lightning. That's what it is. Struck by lightning, struck by lightning. What lightning does, it's really clever. And we shared this in the last video, I think it was. But what lightning does is it splits molecules that aren't needed anymore in the way that they're needed, so that they can form something else that is really necessary and really needed for the nourishment of the land or of the body. Yeah. Guidance on how to ground our embodiment. Absolutely. It's really simple. We're going to try and overcomplicate it as we hear this, but it's actually really simple. Grounding is the practice of being present. That is as simple as it gets. And what being present means is it's not just kind of, although it is what we're seeing, what we're feeling, smelling, tasting, touching, although it is that, it goes deeper. It is noticing the patterns which we are autonomously doing, such as foods we're eating, when we're eating. Are we eating out of habit, out of pattern, out of boredom? Or actually because the food is talking to you, saying, this, I will really nourish you. I will really help you. I will really honor your body. Let me merge with you. Let me connect with you. It's as simple as that. Really noticing everything we are choosing to do, because everything we do in life is a choice. Regardless as to whether we have a story of obligation behind it, whether we feel binded or bonded to a thing, to someone else's truth about something. We are choosing what we're creating by the stories we tell and by the patterns we continue to play out, just because we don't take the time or energy to notice. So how do we notice them? We practice stillness. We practice presence. A lot of the time half our consciousness is out somewhere else. Oh, yeah. There you go. Emotion. Beautiful. A wave of emotion hearing this right now. Thank you for sharing that. Emotion tells us how important something is to us. When we feel strong emotion about something, whether that is strong emotion on the more negative, more heavier end of the spectrum, or whether that's emotion of bliss, of joy, of high energy, we just know that it's emotion because it's energy. It'll translate into whatever it needs to translate to get your attention. And to tell you whether all the voices within you, whether all the beings of you that are within you are in alignment and unity of voice. When there is high positive emotion, that is saying, yes, there is drive, there is passion, this is important, and all the voices of us are within in unity, in unison. We all have the same belief, and the different voices are different layers of you. That's another way of looking at that. Your body, your physical body, has a voice. Every cell in your body has a voice. Your emotions have a voice. Your inner child has a voice, usually played out by the mind, passively on loop. Your higher self has a voice. Your soul has multiple voices because it's having multiple experiences. So all these voices are happening within us, right? Continuously. They sound the same, perhaps in your mind. They sound the same, but they will feel different. They will feel different. And that's what we need to practice, is the noticing and discerning of the feeling of everything within us. So when we feel emotion, and if it's like powerful emotion that's perhaps makes us want to cry, or just kind of stops us, or it's perhaps frustration, or it's anger, or it's wanting to move water, like tears, in some way, that energy is saying that what you're hearing means a lot to you on some level, to a part of you. But perhaps there are different beliefs happening within, or perhaps we've practiced something different. And it's the practice, it's the actual practice, which is embodiment. So if we believe one thing, if we hear one thing, and we go, that's truth, my mind knows that's true. But then we actually walk something different, our action says different. Yes, I know I need to take time for myself. Yes, I am my priority to fill up my cup so that I can be with my family in the most aligned way. Yet when we wake up in the morning, we don't wake up and do a 10-minute meditation and a 5-minute just embodiment practice of just feeling and being still with us. Instead, we go straight to getting distracted. Then we're not actually actioning our truth. So there are two truths there. The mind saying, I know this to be true. But then the body is saying, well, if you know this to be true, why is my body doing something different? Why am I allowing myself to create something different? Why am I allowing myself to start my day in a different way? We're not out of power here. We're being reminded this with Lionsgate. I did a video actually, which was really, we went into more depth. So if you want more depth around that, watch the last video where we spoke about the initiation of the masculine and feminine energies, because we spoke about the crown upgrades and the womb and the throat, right? We spoke about those things, and the solar plexus for the masculine and the feminine energies. But we're not going to go there in this video, just to keep it a little bit more focused. We overcomplicate it. We don't need to. What is embodiment? Being still, being present, bringing all of your consciousness back to within, so you can hear all parts of you singing in harmony, or telling you that there is a rupture somewhere. And to bring it back into alignment, we just have to simply choose the voice we want to hand the inner microphone to. It's that simple. Right. I drew some cards that I do want to share, and we are going to talk about the supermoon that is happening right now, tomorrow. It's the last supermoon of this year. So it's really powerful, it's really important. There is wonderful cosmic alignments, you know, Saturn's in retrograde, there is some funky conjunction or something happening with Saturn in the Aquarius full moon. You know, there is a lot going on, right? But first, let me just draw some, let me just show you the dragon cards that came out, just to offer a message about the shadow of Lionsgate, because what the shadow is, it's the heaviness, it's the integration, it's the hangover of energy, and it's where we actually have to make shifts and changes on an action level, on a body level, like we just discussed 5 minutes ago, in order to clear the old pattern, clear the junk out, so because patterns will repeat. We know this, patterns repeat. That's how we do shadow work. We see what we're creating by our experiences with people, with new people, by how the same energy repeats. And we either heal it or we don't. We either learn and receive the medicine of that and integrate the shadow, or we don't, and then we repeat it again. This is what the shadow period of Lionsgate is all about. Integration, embodiment, walking that talk, right? And you've all got this. You can all do this. But it starts with conscious choice. The mind has to be aware, and then make the body aware also. Because if the mind knows but still the body is doing something else and not creating in the physical what you want to shift and change, then you just do it again next year. That's okay. All time is now, okay? Or in the next life. But there's so much potential right now. And if you're feeling like it's heavy, that's good, because something that you are really passionate about on a soul level, that is part of your soul contract, is wanting to birth. And I said in a previous video that this full moon right now, this super full moon, is like a pressure cooker. But the beauty about pressure cookers is that pressure cookers will get the result quicker, but yes, it is more condensed. Yes, it is hot. You don't want to touch a pressure cooker when it's got the weight on the top. I'm just listening. Feel welcome to ask questions, by the way, as well. If you're watching this live, this is streaming live on Instagram. If you do not see the little live button at the top, then it's no longer live. If you don't see the comments before you, it's no longer live. And it's a recording, but please feel welcome to write comments or questions, whether you're watching this on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. yeah, we're going to crack on. So we have the silver lunar dragon coming in here, which is very poignant for this super full moon. It's the last super moon of the year. A super moon means that it's closer to us. It's got more pull, more of a stronger invitation. Because what the moon does is the moon shows us and mirrors to us our emotional body, what lies below our level of consciousness, what our eyes cannot necessarily see, we have to feel. That's part of the feminine energies, that's part of embodiment. We spend too much time, like I said before, in the mind, analysing and thinking about what we feel, instead of actually just feeling it, locating it in the body. My body is aching here. I feel nauseous today. That's your body speaking, feeling, right? Telling you that something is shifting in that space energetically. But the silver lunar dragon is bringing in this feminine energy, right? And we're going to be really careful about how we say this, because there is a lot of projection that happens around high light code times. A lot of spiritual projection, spiritual ego, and ego projection in general. There is a process that we go through. We all have our own unique way of processing things, processing energy. It's going to be unique to you. The best question to ask if you're having experiences with other people is, when you're having an experience, and if it's a challenging one, first remind yourself that this is a process for them. Remind yourself that there are different versions of someone within the actual body. If it doesn't feel loving and expansive, then perhaps it's the voice of the wounded inner child. But right now we are needing to nurture our wounds, to be the divine mother for ourselves. This is how we actually do the healing. Because otherwise we're going to carry on creating and projecting outside of us. But to actually do the healing, we observe with compassion, without judgment. There is a harmony that is wanting to happen. We've been speaking about this a lot right now for the past month, 2 months. A lot of harmony with masculine and feminine energies within us. This is nothing to do with gender identity. This is about one of the principles of being here on this planet. It's the polarity of gender and how they work together to form Hieros Gamos within. And to heal and to help us be a clearer channel. But right now, connect with the earth. Even if you do, intentionally connect, be present with the earth, because there is so much healing. She's also received all this light that we've received as well. And she can stabilize it. The earth is always harmonizing herself. That's why she has seasons. Right? That's why there's seasons and things like that. There's a harmony in a cycle that's happening. The sea, the land, the sky, all balances itself out. So connect with the earth. And she'll tell you her secrets. Her secrets of how to embody and go gracefully through. She'll remind you how much you are loved. And how much that your divine inheritance is to have all the nourishment you need. I have a friend, he might still be watching, I'm not sure, but I have a wonderful friend who taught me something incredible. He shared something that he did, or that he does, especially when he's filling up on that faith, and he carries an empty cup. Because when the cup's full, you can't receive anything. So he carries an empty cup to remind himself that when it's empty, it can be filled with the light of Source, with the light of the Divine Mother, Father, God I Am, right? So when you connect with the earth in that way, in stillness and in oneness, the light which you have received gets to plant itself, gets to be fertilized and germinated. It starts to grow and blossom, rather than those seeds, the seeds of light, rather than those just crumbling away and getting burnt by the sun. They have to connect with the earth to plant themselves. Okay? Make it easy for you, make it graceful. So we have the green dragons coming in. helping you to align with your trueness, your true nature, your cyclical nature. Once again, that's feminine energy. And you've got the air dragons helping you rise above all projections of ego, all mental matters. And that's important for this full moon because it's in Aquarius, very mental. Very, very mental sign. A lot of powerful change, humanitarian acts like technology era, things like that, but that's not the focus of this moon. In my interpretation, you might interpret it differently. This is because of the conjunction with Lions Gateway, the 8-8 portal, and everything else happening in the sky for this super full moon. This is the powder keg that's gonna either explode and firework you off to a wonderful, beautiful display in the sky, or not in the sky, but in the world. Create something that you've been calling in for so long. Or it's going to be that powder keg that just feels like you're having tower moments after tower moment after tower moment. The tower moments only occur when we're not listening, because we're not paying attention to our emotional body, we're not paying attention to what our physical body is telling us, we're not paying attention to the signs and synchronicities. So we create on a higher level, the higher self of us creates the tower moments. Do you want to be a tower moment or do you not? Some people will have many tower moments this year. That's okay. You will always survive it and thrive through it if you choose to see it instead of something maybe losing itself or getting lost or anything like that. Or if you, instead of choosing to suffer through whatever it is, just opening yourself up, opening your heart up and saying, you know what, if this is happening, it's happening for a good reason. It's happening in my highest good. There is a blessing here as well as a lesson here. There is a gift. And if I can remain grounded and embodied in myself enough, rather than ignoring what I'm feeling, rather than numbing what I'm feeling, rather than eating my feelings, rather than doing whatever else we do to distract ourselves from our feelings, then we align with what it is that we're creating, and we don't even have to consciously know that. It's better if we don't, because the mind limits us. The conscious mind anyway. So the final card that we have is the dragons from Orion, which is all about bringing the knowledge which you have and allowing it to convert itself into pure wisdom. Now, pure wisdom, once again, wisdom is a feminine energy. Let us elaborate. The wisdom of the universe is accessible to everyone. We don't need to store it. We have a habit as humans of storing things, of wanting to store things, storing knowledge, storing food, storing money, storing whatever it is. We want to store things because when we store things, we don't feel like there is a scarcity energy on the foundation of that when we want to store something. The masculine energy interprets, analyzes, and articulates very much the wisdom that is received, but first it is received by the feminine energy because she receives. So you see how these messages are going hand in hand now. It's time to receive as well. Right? So allow yourself to process. It's Orion Dragon. Connect with Orion. Connect with the stars. Walk out amongst the stars. Walk out under the moon. And connect with whatever wants to arise within you, whatever feminine energy wants to arise within you. That might be emotions because they need to move through you. Emotions need to move. They're not meant to stay stagnant. They stay stagnant, they cause pain. Physical pain, right? So let them move through. No emotion has ever hurt anyone. Not the sensation of emotion anyway. Only our interpretation of it and our action after it. The story that we put to it. So it's time for your wings of light to grow. And I love that I just took this card off the bottom of the deck and right underneath is the Omega Dragon. Divine Feminine Dragon. You are birthing something. It's time. Get through this full moon. Get through it in a way where you are literally just walking out, being still, being present, being love. Choosing to see from the eyes of your heart, not the eyes of the mind. And just watch what births for you through this shadow phase of Lionsgate. It's introspection and embodiment, not outward right now. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna send you all so much love. If one of those 4 remaining one-to-one slots call to you on next Thursday at lunchtime in English time, or Saturday the 20th, I had 3 slots, afternoon to evening. If any of those call to you, please feel welcome to browse via the link in my bio or on my website, aliceheath.com. Once those are booked, I will take the listings down, and it will just be the recorded sessions and distance sessions that are still available, and the courses, the mystery courses, Divine Feminine Wisdom, and shadow integration courses. Okay. So anyway, I send you all so much love. If you're just joining now, I do feel welcome to join back. There was a lot of information that came through today. There was a lot of coding that came through. Embody it, integrate it, have a fun time. Don't forget to have fun. That's what Leo season's about, baby. Have fun. And make light of all the heaviness, right? When it feels light, it is light. So much love. Bye for now.